November 11th, 2012 is believed to be the day Paper Mario as a series died.
November 25th, 2020 is the day I lost all my self-respect. Back when I was like 5 or 6, my uncle gave us a lot of Wii games, with most of the games being Mario games. Some of these games would shape my taste in video games today, like Mario Galaxy being the greatest 3D platformer since the invention of 3D platforming, or Donkey Kong Jungle Beat. But one game stood out to me. That game was Super Paper Mario. Now I saw this box art and said, what? You can't be Paper Mario. Which honestly is probably what most kids did, knowing this is the best-selling game of the series. And like, I mean, come on. There's a reason why people bought it. But it was how I got into Mario RPGs, and also how I found out Paper Mario was an RPG series at first. I loved Super Paper Mario, still do, one of my favorite games ever made. But I never really got into Paper Mario till the release of Origami King. I know, I'm a loser. Paper Mario is now one of my favorite franchises of all time. It takes the normal turn-based RPGs and adds a nice Mario spin to it, but ask any Paper Mario fan and they will point out one era of this franchise where the games began to get stale. In a horrible era for Mario, came a worse era for Paper Mario. As a 14-year-old bigsleeter once said,
November 11th.
Shut up. But since Origami King's release, I actually took it upon myself to play all the Paper Mario games. And I have a lot to say about it. So strap in. Alright, is your seatbelt fastened? Good. We can get this show on the road. This road on the show. This show on the road. I actually never played 64, or not enough of it to get a consensus on it. From what I hear, it's just TTYD, but not as refined. TTYD though, holy cannoli. I'm not crazy in RPGs, but fucking goddamn is this game good. The world's so lively and full of life that it feels lived in and I feel alive. Each location's unique and full of life and personality, which makes exploring them a whole lot of fun. Each location has actual characters you can interact with it with distinct personalities other than silly quirky Toad, which granted the dialogue in later games is funny as shit, but my point still stands. They take the base Paper Mario characters and make each one of them distinct. The only ones that are generic Mario enemies are the ones you actually attack. The partner mechanic is so goddamn good as well. Each partner has their own distinctive personality and set of abilities that set them apart from each other and makes you strategize which partner you need to use for bosses or even simple enemies. Not to forget action commands, items, special items. Tap A after an attack, you get some stylish points, which adds audience members and increases how much FP you get at the end of a battle. Hell, audience members can actually aid you during battles as well. They could even be dickheads too. But one of the things people will whine over about this game is the amount of backtracking, especially in Chapter 7, one of the worst parts of the game. It can sometimes make the game feel tedious and makes you want to strangle Mario, but then you get paper cuts trying to do so you can't. So in order to feel at ease, you play Little Big Planet. Also, along with the difficulty spikes that occur and the lack of tutorials of new mechanics, Thousand Year Door can sometimes feel unwelcoming even as one of the best beginner RPGs. But don't let that deteriorate your enjoyment. There are reasons why people consider this the peak of Mario RPGs. So let's do something else. Yeah, that's a good idea. See, Thousand Year Door had these subsections where you played as other characters, just to kind of catch up with them. Bowser sections were 2D side-scrolling sections like old 2D Mario, and the devs one night, after having too many, looked at that and said, well, that was the sequel to Thousand Year Door. Hey, now, this is no mistake. This is a happy little accident. Super Paper Mario is an oddity because this was never meant to be a mainline Paper Mario game. They wanted to make a game based off those Bowser sections of Thousand Year Door and slap it onto the GameCube, save the Wii for the big new RPG, you feeling me? But what ended up happening was the Wii was slowly approaching the GameCube with an axe, and since the game's 2006 release was getting delayed anyway, you might as well. Thus it became the weird middle child, right smack dab in between the old greats and the new mids. What's also weird is my opinion on this being the best Paper Mario game, and also my favorite game of all time. I think it's nostalgia because playing this game, there's so many glaring issues, but hey, SA2 is still one of the best Sonic games, and look at how many issues that got. Super is a beautifully crafted masterpiece story-wise, and the story carries into the gameplay. There are very little games where the entire story can carry the gameplay in general. Super Paper Mario's gameplay is like, well, it's not bad, but it could have been better. But the fact that the story engages you so much that you keep playing to see what happens next is like, name one game that does that. But yay, our one-off game's done. We can go back to making RPGs. Glory to the Paper Mario. – 2012 was believed to be the end of the world. If I had a sense in 2012, I'd believe it. Imagine being a Paper Mario fan, seeing all these clips showing off a sequel to Thousand Year Door. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Shitting me, you gotta be kidding me. Sticker Star sucks. Not just as a Paper Mario game, but just as a game. As an action-adventure game, boring and slop. As an RPG, slop and boring. There's no characters whatsoever, other than Curtsy the Sticker, who sucks as a character anyway and is a dickhead for literally no reason. The story is as shallow as the water to my ankles. It's a sticker festival where there's a sticker star and Bowser takes the sticker star to become the sticker star. That's probably the story. It's so forgettable I can't even describe it. Instead of having everything split into chapters, we have normal-ass worlds with a damn world map. There's a grass world, a desert world, a jungle world, a snow world. My brain's on the wall. Now, before I talk about the battle system, we need to talk about its direct sequel. Imagine being dick slapped with Sticker Star and then the holy dagger of penis gets slapped onto your face with Color Splash. But even then, Color Splash is fine. It's a perfectly acceptable experience. It's no 1000-year door, but compared to Sticker Star, it's a holy turd. The main issue with Color Splash is the fact that they didn't improve the battle system one bit. Okay, they improved it a little bit, but not that much. See, the battle system in these newer Paper Mario games is a normal turn-based RPG system like in the original games. But because, you know, they don't want to make it an RPG, they want to make it an action-adventure game, you know what they did? Well, I mean, we already have the battle system coded, let's just keep it in. But we don't want to make this an RPG. So then don't have them level up, obviously. Which means you get no reward for battling except for coins. Which even then you can find in the overworld. But also the moves you collect are one-time uses anyway, which means there's actually zero reason to battle unless you're required to. Both of these games suffer from this problem, but Color Splash is a little better with this, with having an incentive because of the paint meter. Basically, winning battles gives you this hammer thingies that refill your paint meter. Leveling it up means you can store more paint, which, yeah, gives incentive to battle, but even then, you barely use this thing if you pass every white spot in the levels. Color Splash does one thing right though, and that's the exploration. It's a treat to explore Color Splash's world. It's structured like Sticker Star with the world map, but the levels are all interconnected and it feels like an actual world you're exploring. The only issue is that it's structured with backtracking in mind, which means you're entering the world map all the goddamn time. But that's my only issue with it. I like exploring the world, it's fun, that's it, it's just fun. Sticker Star also attempted to do more of an open exploration type thing with the overworld, but like I said, it's what shows up when you look up nothing in the dictionary. It's like everything wrong with 1000-Year Door's overworld exploration, but on top of the slop of everything else wrong with this game. Color Splash also has funny writing. Sticker Star's a fraud. And before I forget, Paper Jam exists for some reason. I never played it and I have no incentive to ever play it. It has this though. But back to mainline Paper Mario. What are they gonna do next? Origami Rush? I was kidding. Origami King was a polarizing announcement. It was announced 2 months before the release, and even then, people couldn't explain how they feel. Like, it looks good, but also bad. Also, they turned turn-based RPG into a literal turn-based RPG. Origami King's an odd game because it takes the best aspects of every Paper Mario game and also the worst aspects of every Paper Mario game. First off, there's no incentive to battle, other than the puzzles are kind of fun. So I don't gaff. The exploration, though, is top-notch. They perfected the exploration of Color Splash and took out everything wrong with it. The world map. Instead of splotches of white you have to paint over, you have holes that need to be patched with confetti, which incentivizes you having to cover these holes up in order for you not to fall in. Also, Origami King is the first Paper Mario game since Super Paper Mario to have partners. They do jack shit? Yeah, I mean, you asked for it, so don't complain, I guess. Also, the story's pretty decent, though the ending's stupid as shit. Sticker Star and Color Splash had these really boring bosses that had you saving special stickers or cards to one-shot. Origami King actually has bosses that take actual strategy to beat. I also genuinely don't gaff that they're household objects. It's like a staircase, it keeps going up. Sticker Star's the bottom, Color Splash is the middle, and Origami King's the top. And with that knowledge, I can conclude, Paper Mario never died. Kind of. Origami King and Color Splash being good on their own doesn't really make them good in comparison to the original trilogy. They're great games in their own regards, but as a Paper Mario game? Yeah, those originals are holy shit compared to the shits these are. But those last two games are leagues better than Sticker Star. They have actual characters, even though they're bland generic Mario characters or a paint bucket named Huey. Get it? Like Hue in Color Splash, like the hue of a color. It had actual places to explore and incentivize exploration. Their gameplays had great attributes to it that are only docked by its poor attempt at combat. Hell, Origami King had enemies in the overworld that you had to defeat in the overworld. So at the end of the day, They didn't need the battle system. Origami King was a breath of fresh air. It felt like what was great about Color Splash fully realized with a decently fun combat system, though useless, and some of the best music of any Nintendo game. And if Paper Mario games were going to stay action-adventure oriented, I really wouldn't mind. It was a broken formula that felt like it was being fixed as games released. Back in 2020, I predicted the next Paper Mario game was just going to keep going in this route of action-adventure. The next game is probably going to take what worked in Origami King and throw out what didn't. Thousand Year Door is getting remade, I don't care anymore. They just announced this at the end of a direct. Fuck the action, fuck the adventure, we're going back to the role-playing flower point, have an actual partner, having Paper Mario games people yearned for years. They actually got rid of the white outline too. The stupidest argument anyone has ever made about a game's art style. I'm not even kidding. Paper Mario fans saw this fan-made Thousand Year Door remake and got really mad because there was white outlines. I'm genuinely so goddamn happy and grateful that this game's getting remade. People who don't want to spend an arm and a leg for the OG finally get to play one of the most accessible RPGs to newcomers on Nintendo's best-selling system opposed to one of their worst-selling systems, only beating the Wii U. As of making this video, the reviews already came out and it's reviewing a lot better than the original game. Alright, not a lot better, but it's reviewing better than the original game. This game selling well could mean a return to the roots of Paper Mario, which could happen, or they just keep doing what they were doing originally and we get Paper Mario the Plastic Disaster. But with the reviews and high interest, I think Nintendo will make the smart decision and keep going with this route of Paper Mario. A mix of Origami King exploration and Thousand Year Door RPG elements could easily make one of the best games in the entire series. And in general. I'm not sponsored one bit, but I recommend this game to anyone. Please go get this game. It's a remake of one of the best RPGs and has so much quality of life junk to make it one of the definitive versions of this game. How they brought back the area-specific battle themes from Origami King and the thinking music. If that doesn't tell you to buy this game, then I don't know what will. But also the idea of Paper Mario fans winning is scary.